Hey racers, and welcome to another live stream. Today's topic for this Friday before the weekend is, should you drink Powerade on race day or on ride day? So thanks Neil for asking this one on a previous video. It was actually on my list to put together at some point, but since you brought it up, it got put to the front of the list. So first of all, when we're talking about sports, what I'm really talking about is not just Powerade in general, but sports drinks. Okay, it could be Gatorade, could be Powerade, could be Staminade, whatever else is out there, okay, in terms of sports drinks, okay, or electrolyte replacement drinks. So the first thing you need to look at when you're looking at these types of drinks is you need to know, okay, what's the purpose of actually, hey Jason, what's the purpose of actually having it? Okay, why are you having these drinks in the first place? And so for a lot of you, the answer will be hydration. It will be electrolyte replacement, even if you don't know what that means. You've been told that it's important, so you make sure you do that. And could even be for energy as well. Could be another reason that you take it. So first of all, first thing you need to look at is go, okay, what am I getting from this drink? Okay, what am I getting from the Powerade, from the Gatorade? What's in this thing that's supposed to be making me performing better? And why am I taking it? So before I get into that, as usual, there's usually a bit of a background knowledge that you need, first of all, to make a better decision on whether you need a sports drink or not. So when you're out riding and racing, depending on the type of riding that you're doing and how intensely you're doing that riding, you need to replace certain things that are being lost or that are being burnt through. And so a couple of those things being electrolytes, which is like vitamins and minerals, and then the other thing being carbohydrates that you're burnt through as well, okay? So as you're going through your riding, you're sweating a lot, and so you're losing a lot of salt, a lot of sodium. Okay, those electrolytes, vitamins and minerals that are in your body are reducing in their, from their prime levels, okay, or optimal levels. And same with your carbs. You're burning through, you've stored up all these carbs, you're burning through them as you're riding, so the amount of energy you have available is decreasing as you keep riding and racing. So if you're doing, say, longer enduros, let's say you're doing a 3 or 4 hour cross country, it's really intense for 3 to 4 hours. I've just got the numbers written down for you guys. You need anywhere from 30 to 45 grams of carbs per hour, okay, of intense exercise, and roughly 15 grams of protein, okay. If you're a motocross racer and you're doing events which are, like, let's say you're doing half-hour motos, okay, so it's really intense, but it's half an hour, we're not going for hours and hours and hours. Then we can work on roughly half of that, okay? So for your carbs, that would be roughly 20 to 25 grams of carbs. For protein, you can probably have like half a scoop of protein or half a protein shake rather than a full protein shake, which will be around the 20 gram mark. So now that we know, okay, they're the measurements or the requirements we need to top up our tank on race day, how does Powerade or how does a sports drink fit into that? So if you look at, so I just got the exact numbers for you guys before I did this, so I had some real numbers to work with. So if you look at like a normal Powerade, okay, so not a no sugar or a funny version of Powerade, just the normal Powerade, for majority of the flavors, they're about 35 grams, okay, of sugar or of carbs per 600 ml bottle. So a full bottle of Powerade, a normal standard 600 ml bottle is 35 grams of carbs. So remember, our limit for carbs, if you're doing 3 to 4 hour events, every hour, we need 30 to 45 grams of carbs. Okay, so if we're having a Powerade, that's 35, that fits in that category. So that means if you're doing these longer enduro rides that are 3 to 4 hours cross-country type intensity, then you need to be getting in 1 Powerade bottle per hour of riding. So if you're doing 4 hours, that's 4 bottles of Powerade. So stick it in your Camelback, have it at your fuel stops. When you get back to the car, have it, but you should be working on 4 bottles of Powerade over that 4 hours. If you're riding at lower intensity, it's not a race environment, okay, and you're just going for a casual ride, then you don't need that much, okay? You can work on half that, okay? So if it's just a casual ride, more single trail stuff, not as intense, work on, say, roughly 20 grams of carbs per hour. So what would that look like? Instead of 4 bottles of Powerade, probably 2 bottles of Powerade over a 4 hour ride. For motocross, okay, so if we're looking at motocross and we're doing let's say half hour motos and we're doing 2 or 3 of those or maybe 2, 3 of those in a day, we want to have roughly, say, between 20 to 30 grams of carbs, okay, after each race that we've had. So if we're having a POWERADE, which is 35 grams, it's probably a little bit more than what our body needs. But you could have one 600ml bottle of POWERADE for every race that you do. So if you're doing, generally if they're half-hour motos, you're not doing 3 in one day, you're probably only doing 2. So you'd have couple of bottles of POWERADE, full bottles of POWERADE, that's the normal ones. And that will get your carb requirements for the day. So that's how the carb side fits in. You can get like POWERADE Zero. So the difference with POWERADE Zero is it doesn't have any carbs in it because it doesn't have any sugar, right? So you're not going to be replacing any sugar that you're losing on race day, which is what you want to do. Pretty much all it is when you look at the ingredients is just a lot of salt in it. It's flavored salt water, okay? A lot of sodium, flavored sodium water. So there's definitely a lot more electrolytes and minerals that you get in the normal one, but you're also taking in a lot of carbs as well. The reason the carbohydrate intake is important, okay, the amount of sugar, is carbohydrates is a very fine line. So if you don't get enough carbs in, that's like going, like in riding terms, that's like underfilling your petrol tank, okay? It's like going, hey, I need a full petrol tank at 100% to go the distance and only putting half in, okay? Your bike's gonna run out of juice and you're not gonna get anywhere. Same thing for your body. If you don't put enough carbs into your body for what you're burning off, you're just not gonna have enough energy in the fuel tank. You're gonna find you hit a wall when you're depleted of carbohydrates. On the opposite side, if you're putting in too many carbs and too much stuff, you're just overloading your body. Your body can only absorb a certain amount of carbs per hour, okay? Or at a particular period of time. So if you're putting in too many carbs, then what you risk is, number one, overloading your body with too much energy and it's got to slow itself. You know, like after you've had a big bowl of pasta or you're taking, like you've eaten way too much chocolate, you have this crash, okay, and you feel like shit afterwards. Obviously you don't want that when you're riding. So if you're taking in too much sugar, too much carbs, then you go the opposite way. You feel like shit, number one, and if you do that long term, you're going to start to gain body fat as well because you're not burning off the energy you're putting in. So that's why it's important to work with those numbers and make sure we're hitting the targets that we need to. There was something else I was going to mention as well, and now I can't remember what it is. So that's what we're going to stick with. Jason, would it be better to carry POWERADE instead of water in your water pack? You want to have a combination of both, okay? So POWERADE has a lot of electrolytes in it. So electrolytes are vitamins and minerals, okay? Things like calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. I was missing one, okay? So pretty much what these vitamins and minerals do is they help your muscles to contract and relax. They control a whole heap of other systems in the body, but one of their main functions is to get your muscles to be able to contract well, okay, and to be able to relax well. So that's why when you're low on sodium, when you're low on electrolytes, when your body's low on salt, you've been sweating a lot and not replacing everything, that's why a lot of people get cramping, okay? Especially for you guys that do 3 or 4 hour enduros and do a lot of riding. The reason you're cramping is because your electrolytes, your amount of sodium that you have as well is reducing. And so your muscles aren't contracting and relaxing as well. You don't have as much control over it. That's why they start to spasm and kind of do their own thing and you can't fix it because those key vitamins and minerals aren't there to help you control those processes. So that's the importance of using POWERADE compared to like using water, okay? So like I've talked about on previous hydration videos, if you're just relying on water, what's gonna happen is you're gonna excrete through sweat, through urine, all of those electrolytes, they're gonna disappear, okay? Sodium's gonna disappear. And so what that means is you've got lower levels of these vitamins and minerals and they need to be replaced. So you can replace them through a sports drink, but you should also be eating well, okay? These vitamins and minerals just aren't available through POWERADE, okay? It doesn't mean you need to be drinking POWERADE 24/7. If you're eating a good diet, fruits, meats, vegetables, okay? So proteins, fats, and carbs through good quality sources, you're getting a lot of these vitamins and minerals anyway, okay? When it comes to riding day or race day, it's just about topping these up because we're losing them at an accelerated rate compared to what we normally would during the week. When we're in the office or, out on the tools. We're not doing things as intensely as what we are on the bike. So to answer your question there, Jason, you want to have a mixture of both because if you just have one POWERADE, 600 mils, chances are it may not be enough, okay? Or if you're doing, like, let's say you're doing a 3 or 4 hour enduro ride and it's more casual than it is intense cross-country race environment, you only need 20 to 30 grams of carbs per hour, right? Which is half a bottle of POWERADE per hour. So half a bottle of Powerade is only 300 mils. Okay, and you're probably going to need a lot more water than 300, or a lot more liquids and fluids than 300 mils in an hour of riding. So you'll need a mixture of both. You can if it's easier to carry, like you can mix them up if you're going to have stops. If you're doing motocross, Jason, I can't quite see from your profile picture, but for those of you that are doing motocross, then you want to, again, you want to do both. Okay, you want to have Powerade and you want to have water. A good way to tell if you're not getting enough water in on race day is you can weigh yourself. So if you go riding on the weekend and you weigh yourself at the start of riding, okay, so let's say you weigh 80 kilos and you had all this water and you had all this Powerade, but you still got to the end of your riding day and now you weigh 79 kilos, okay? You know you've lost a kilo there. You haven't lost a kilo of body fat, okay, in a couple of hours of riding. That's going to be a lot of that, well, it's all going to be water, okay? So you know that, okay, I didn't get on my water, I didn't have enough, so I need to ramp it up. If you're relatively the same weight from where you started, then you're getting enough, you know, you're getting enough fluid in. Awesome, Jason, so 2 to 4 hours. Yeah, so definitely do both. You can either carry them separately, okay, and sort it out with your Camelback, or dilute, put Powerade in your Camelback and map it all out, or just dilute the water so you've got a good ratio there of Powerade to water as well. But you definitely want to have a mixture of both, okay? You don't want to just, with the sports drinks, it's not just only have sports drinks and you don't need to worry about water. Sports drinks is for replacing carbs, okay, and for replacing electrolytes, so the vitamins and minerals, so you don't cramp and so your body has maximum control over how its muscles and body works. Water is for hydration, okay? So think about Powerade as Powerade's putting the right vitamins and minerals in your body for it to be able to absorb the water well, okay? So you can't just put the vitamins and minerals in and expect that to work if you're not putting the water in that's actually going to be absorbed by those vitamins and minerals, okay? And likewise, you can't just keep putting water in and not put vitamins and minerals in because your body's not going to hold on to the water that you put in. So both of those work hand in hand. You need the vitamins and minerals, okay? They're like your magnet for water, okay? They help to pull the water in and do what it needs to do. If we don't have this to pull the water in and we put lots of water in, the water just goes straight past, okay? It doesn't actually get pulled into our muscles or used for what it needs to be used for. So combination of both. If you found this helpful, guys, please give me a like on the video. It helps to share it around with everyone on the book. So hopefully more riders and racers can see this stuff and implement it for the weekend. Is there any questions though? Anything I can help with, anything I can clarify for this video so far? It can either be to do with like Powerades and Gatorades and sports drinks, or if there's any other drinks that you have that maybe you're not sure about, or just general questions in general. I'll spend a couple of minutes to answer those for you. Does that help you, Neil? I think I saw your name pop up. If you're on here, give me a thumbs up if that helps. Any questions though, guys? Anything I can clarify for you guys, or everything makes sense? We all understand where Powerade. I guess the main thing is making sure that you're just taking in enough, okay? It's easy to just drink Powerade all day and not drink water, which is a problem. But it's also important to know why you're having the sports drink, okay? A lot of us just go, like we see these other people having sports drinks, so we're like, oh, I should be having a sports drink. You just need to understand why and control the amount of sports drinks that you're having, depending on what your goal is and the type of riding and racing that you do. Cool, all right, that's it then. Hopefully, guys, oh, here we go. We got to just snuck that in, Luke. Luke, what are some better options than the big brand sports drinks? So you can use like Gatorades and Powerades. They're fine to use with all the things that you need. Again, they're high in sugar. So like 35 grams of sugar for a 600 ml bottle is a fair bit of sugar for a drink, right? So it's really you're using that as a carb drink, as well as electrolyte replacement. Endura, to be honest, I haven't done any research on Endura. You just got to have a look at this for everything. Have a look at the stats on the back of the ingredients. It will tell you how many grams of carbs are in that particular drink. So for Endura, if you use Endura or you're looking into it, go on the website, have a look at the ingredients that it's got on the back. Well, actually, let me have a look here for you because there's Endura. There's another one as well, another popular one, Hydrolyte as well. which a lot of riders use. So Endura, let's have a look at Endura. Endura hydration. I'm going to do it live for you and have a look. So I'll go on here. Endura rehydration performance fuel. Let's have a look. So this is the way I find out. They usually hide the ingredients and the stats and all that sort of stuff. Let's have a look. Ingredients. So these must be sachets that I'm looking at. Oh, it's a powdered up form. It comes in a little tub. You must scoop it into water. So it's got all electrolytes in it. It doesn't look like it has sugar in it. Let's have a look. Magnesium, chloride, sodium, calcium. From the ingredients I can see here, it doesn't look like this particular one I'm looking at. Oh, here we go. Carbohydrates is 6% carbohydrate format, providing 20 grams of carbohydrates per dose for exercise lasting longer than 1 hour. So depending on the type of exercise, so it's got 20 grams of carbs in that drink. So that's similar to like what, it's going to be less than what a Powerade or Gatorade is. So again, it's based on your goal. You have to reverse engineer. This is not one of those things where I can just go, everyone follow this, because it depends on the type of riding you're doing, how long you're riding for, and the intensity of that riding as well. So this has 20 grams of carbs. A bottle of Powerade has 35 grams of carbs. So if you're going on an enduro ride and it's more casual, 3 to 4 hours, it might be easier just to use the Enduro because it's only got 20 grams of carbs compared to having half a Powerade. But yeah, it's really, in terms of like major differences, not really. This has got all the same stuff that that Powerade and Gatorade's got. It's got all the electrolytes, magnesium, sodium, calcium, potassium, all the same stuff. And I assume it's got sugar. It says it's got carbs in it, but I can't see it here on the ingredients list for whatever reason. It should be on there, but I can't find it here. So I'm not sure what's happening there. But it does say 20 grams of carbs. So yeah, that's really what you need to look at is the carbohydrate content and then the electrolyte content as well. And then you're good to go. But just making sure it fits into those parameters that I just went through. If that answers your question, Luke, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. All right, that looks like it's it for questions then. Sweet, guys, cool. Well, get out there, get hold of your sports drinks if you need to. Maybe pay a bit more attention to the labels on the back, and make sure they're fitting in with your training, riding, and racing goals. Otherwise, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I am uploading a lot of the videos up to YouTube. So any of you guys that have a YouTube account or go on YouTube a bit, I'll put the address to my YouTube channel in the comments for you right now. Let me do it now before I forget. And so you can check out the videos on there as well. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to watch videos like this when you're on YouTube. So let's go here, youtube.com/drivenathletetraining. There you go. So if you can hop over and you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be great as well. Otherwise, I will chat to you guys soon. See ya.